I've been an Airbnb superhost for 7 years in Asheville, North Carolina. Over 300 guests have stayed in my renovated 1920s bungalow. Most check out, leave 5 stars, and I never think about them again. But 3 times I found something that made me want to burn the property to the ground. The company paid me to stay quiet about what happened last summer. I signed an NDA, but you need to know what some people do when they think nobody's watching. Before we dive deeper, let us know in the comments where you're watching from. We'd love to hear from you. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you never miss any of our upcoming videos. The first incident was March 2023. A woman in her 60s booked 2 weeks. Patricia M. Her profile showed 200+ positive reviews as a guest. The message said she was visiting family, needed somewhere quiet for genealogy research. 0 red flags. I handed over the keys. She checked out on day 10 without explanation, left 4 days early without asking for a refund, just gone. I went in for turnover cleaning and everything looked normal, too normal actually. Hospital corners on the bed, every dish washed and put away, not a single towel out of place. Then I smelled it from the basement. Not rot, not mold. Earth and copper and something floral I couldn't identify. I don't rent out the basement, it's storage, water heater, Christmas decorations. The door stays locked. It was wide open. I turned on the light and salt covered the concrete floor in a perfect circle, maybe 8 feet across. Inside that circle was an altar. My grandmother's wedding photo sat propped against a stack of journals I kept locked in my bedroom drawer. The photo lives on the mantel upstairs. Around them, dead flowers, chicken bones arranged in geometric patterns, 7 candles burned down to wax puddles. In the center was a Polaroid of me sleeping in my own bed. She'd been inside my house before her check-in date, while I slept. The Polaroid was dated 3 weeks before she made the reservation. I called the police, and they took a report for trespassing and petty theft since she'd technically been a paying guest during most of her stay. Nothing came of it. Airbnb deleted her account, but refused to tell me if she'd done this to other hosts. I changed every lock, installed cameras in rooms guests would never think to check, started inspecting my basement after every single checkout. That was the first time I thought about quitting, but mortgage payments kept me going. 6 months later, in September 2023, a couple in their 30s booked a long weekend. Jake and Miranda their booking message said, "Baby moon, our last trip before the baby comes." The profile photo showed them hiking. He was a physical therapist, she taught 3rd grade, everything checked out. Checkout was Sunday at 11 a.m., but by noon they hadn't left. I texted nothing. At 1 p.m. I drove over and their rental car was gone, front door unlocked, key on the kitchen counter. The house felt empty. Kitchen was spotless, bathroom towels in the hamper, living room looked untouched. The bedroom door was closed. I opened it. Every wall was covered in black Sharpie, floor to ceiling, tiny cramped handwriting with no spaces between words. Not random scribbling. The same sentence repeated thousands of times. The baby knows what we did, the baby knows what we did, the baby knows what we did. I stood there reading until my eyes couldn't focus anymore. The closet door was cracked open. They built a nest inside using my blankets, pillows, and towels, all piled in a circle. In the center sat a vintage porcelain doll with glass eyes. Someone had drawn stitches across its mouth in red marker. The detective who responded was a woman in her 40s. She photographed everything, took samples of the writing, then asked if I'd looked them up online. I hadn't. She showed me her phone, and 3 months earlier, Miranda had been 7 months pregnant. There was a local news story about a car accident. She survived. The baby didn't. The detective closed her notepad and said, "I don't think this is criminal, this is grief." Airbnb refunded the cleaning fee but said I couldn't leave a negative review because it would violate the guest's privacy regarding medical situations. Repainting that room cost $1,200, but while scrubbing the walls beforehand, I found writing under the baseboards. They'd moved furniture to write on surfaces I'd never see during normal cleaning. How long were they in there? What else were they doing? I installed motion sensors after that, started doing mid-stay wellness checks on longer bookings, thought I was being paranoid. Then last summer in July 2024 during peak season, Robert K. booked 5 nights. 47, software engineer from Seattle traveling for work conferences. 10 previous stays on his profile, all perfect reviews described as quiet, clean, respectful. Everything seemed fine, regular hours coming and going, kept to himself. On checkout day, he left the key in the lockbox with a polite thank you message. I went in for turnover and the house looked untouched, like nobody had been there at all. Routine checks, locks, appliances, windows. My laptop had moved. I keep it in the den for guests to use if needed, password protected. I'd left it closed, pushed against the wall. Now it sat open in the center of the desk, screen black but the power light glowed, sleeping mode not shut down. I moved the mouse and a folder sat open on the desktop, one I'd never seen before. Inside were 127 video files, all recorded in my house from cameras I didn't install. I clicked one and my kitchen appeared on screen with a timestamp of 2:47 a.m. I watched myself walk through in my bathrobe, getting water. I live 2 miles away. I don't stay at the property during guest bookings. These files were old, recorded over the past 2 years. I clicked through more. Me cleaning between guests, me doing repairs, me eating lunch at the kitchen table, me on the phone with my sister, me crying after my father's funeral. Someone had been watching me for years. My friend who does its security came over with equipment within the hour. 5 cameras. Inside the den smoke detector, behind the bathroom mirror, in the living room air vent, inside a decorative plant in the bedroom, in the kitchen light fixture. All wireless, all streaming to a cloud server. These are professional grade, he said. Whoever installed these knew exactly what they were doing. The hardware purchase date traced back 3 years before I even listed the property on Airbnb. The previous owner installed them and someone still had access. Robert K.'s profile deleted the next day. The Seattle company on his profile didn't exist. Police traced the cloud server to an IP address in Romania, then it went dark. My IT friend found something else, facial recognition. The cameras only recorded when I was in frame. Someone was collecting footage of me specifically. I sold the property 2 months later at a massive loss because in one video from 6 months ago, I'm asleep on the couch after a late cleaning job. In the background, the front door opens. Someone walks in, stands in the doorway, watches me sleep for 11 minutes, then leaves. I gave everything to police and they forwarded it to the FBI. Last I heard, they'd connected the footage to 17 other properties nationwide. Same cameras, same setup. Someone is building a database. They never told me what for. I quit hosting last August, deleted my Superhost account, walked away from 7 years of income. Every time I used to clean between guests, I'd wonder what are they leaving that I'm not finding? What have they already taken of mine, and who else is watching me look? If you've ever hosted on Airbnb, check your smoke detectors, check behind your mirrors. If you find something, maybe don't tell the company because they'll just pay you to stay quiet. My mother turned 60 on September 14, 2024. We wanted something special, just family, me, my husband Trevor, my sister Ashley, and mom. Found the perfect place. Beach house in Rodin, North Carolina, right on the Outer Banks with ocean views, fire pit, 5 stars across 78 reviews. When we arrived, people were already inside. They'd been there for 6 days waiting. We should have left the second we walked in. The listing was called Pelican's Rest, which I should have known better because every horror movie beach house has a cute nautical name. 3-hour drive from Raleigh with mom riding with me, kept showing photos from the listing on her phone. Look at that wraparound porch, and they have kayaks. She had a brutal year. Dad died in January, sold their house in May, moved into a retirement community she hated. This trip was supposed to bring her joy. We pulled up at 3:47 p.m. 3 stories, weathered blue siding that promised porch wrapping the whole first floor with the beach maybe 50 yards away. All the windows were open, curtains billowing. Trevor said maybe the cleaning crew's airing it out. The lockbox code worked, so we grabbed bags and went inside. The dining table was set for 4 with plates, silverware, wine glasses, and fresh flowers in the center, still vibrant. Blankets draped over the couch, an open book on the coffee table, someone's reading spot. The coffee maker was on in the kitchen with half a pot still warm. "Hello?" I called out but got nothing. Ashley pointed upstairs asking if maybe they're up there, while Trevor checked his phone confirming we had the right address and the lockbox code worked. Mom walked to the table, touched a wine glass, her finger came away wet. "This was used recently," she said quietly. "Very recently." Trevor and I went upstairs to find 4 bedrooms. The master had an unmade bed with sheets tangled and pillows on the floor, bathroom light on with the mirror still fogged. Someone had showered within the last hour. Second bedroom had 2 suitcases open on the bed with women's clothes and toiletries unpacked on the dresser. Third bedroom had children's items, coloring books, stuffed animals, a tablet charging on the nightstand. The fourth room was locked. Trevor suggested maybe we were double booked with owners still here, but that didn't explain why they'd leave everything and vanish. I called the host, Christine M., got 6 rings then voicemail. "Hi, this is Christine. Sorry I missed you. Leave a message and I'll get back to you soon." I explained the situation in my message, then checked the Airbnb app. Previous guests were supposed to check out that morning at 10 a.m., but it was almost 4:30 p.m. Ashley came upstairs saying Mom found something we needed to see. Mom stood in the kitchen holding a leather-bound guest book from the coffee table, page after page of entries from previous guests. "Amazing week. The sunsets are incredible. Thanks Christine, and perfect anniversary trip. We'll definitely be back." Normal happy entries until the last one dated 6 days ago, September 8th, 2024, in shaky handwriting. Day 3. "We tried leaving this morning but the car won't start. Christine won't answer. The beach is empty, haven't seen another person since we arrived. Fog comes in at night, doesn't leave until noon. David thinks we should walk to the main road but it's almost 5 miles. The kids are scared, staying inside until someone comes." Below it, same handwriting but different pen. Day 5. "Food running low. Wi-Fi stopped yesterday. Cell service comes and goes. We can see lights from other houses at night, but when we walk toward them in the morning, they're gone. David left this morning for help. Been 9 hours. He's not back." Third entry was barely legible. Day 6. "David never came back. Took the kids and walked where the main road should be. Walked 3 hours. Ended up back at this house. The same house. I don't understand. Children won't stop crying. If someone finds this," it ended mid-sentence. Ashley grabbed her phone to call police, but Trevor said wait, he was looking at the refrigerator. Polaroid stuck to it with magnets, 4 of them showing a family. Man, woman, 2 children standing on the beach in front of this house, everyone smiling. The woman matched a driver's license I found in one of the purses upstairs, Jennifer Aldridge. Trevor pulled down a Polaroid and on the back that same shaky handwriting, 9/13/24, last sunrise. If you're reading this, get out. The house doesn't let you leave. That was yesterday. I said this is a prank or they had a breakdown, we're calling police, getting a refund and leaving. But Mom hadn't moved, staring at the guest book. Sweetheart, look at the dates. Every entry was normal until August 2024, then 8:15 tried leaving early. Car won't start. Christine not responding. And 8:23 third day stuck, waiting for help. And 9/1 if anyone reads this, don't stay past 3 nights. Then the September 8th entry from the Aldrich family. Ashley whispered, "How many people have been trapped here?" I said we're leaving right now, grabbed our bags, headed for the door. My car sat 30 feet away in gravel. I clicked the key fob, nothing. Walked over and tried the door manually. It was locked, so I unlocked it, slid into the driver's seat, but the dashboard was completely dead. No lights, no sound. 2-year-old car with a battery that should be fine. Trevor tried his with the same result. Standing in the driveway with 2 perfectly functional vehicles that wouldn't start, Ashley said we walk 5 miles, we can do that. Trevor said it's almost 5 p.m., we'll be walking in the dark. Mom pointed toward the beach. Look. Fog rolling in from the ocean, thick and gray, moving impossibly fast. Unnatural. Under a minute it swallowed the beach, the dunes, the road. Couldn't see past 20 feet, so we went back inside. Christine didn't answer when I tried again, just voicemail. Called 911 and it rang, then disconnected. Tried again, same thing. Trevor tried, Ashley tried, Mom tried. Calls wouldn't go through. I said we have food and water, we wait until morning, fog will lift. We walk out, just bad weather and dead batteries. But Ashley was reading the guest book again. They all tried waiting it out. None made it past 6 days. We stayed together in the great room, made sandwiches from kitchen food the Aldrich family left behind, which felt wrong, eating their supplies, but we were hungry. Sunset at 6:47 p.m. and the fog never lifted. Trevor tried making a fire, but the flue wouldn't open. Like the house doesn't want us comfortable, he muttered. At 7:30 p.m. we heard the first sound. Footsteps on the porch, slow and deliberate, heavy boots on wood. We froze. The footsteps circled the entire house, then stopped at the front door. The doorknob turned, locked. 3 loud knocks. "Help," I shouted. "We're stuck, please." No response. Footsteps resumed. Circling over and over for an hour, then silence. At 9:15 p.m. my phone rang. Christine M. I answered immediately, saying, "Christine, thank God. Listen," but she cut me off with a flat, rehearsed voice. "You shouldn't have stayed past dark." I said our cars won't start, but she replied, "They never do." I asked, "What is this place?" and she said, "I tried closing the listing. They won't let me. Every time I try, another booking appears. I don't know who's making them." My blood went cold. I asked how long and she said 3 years since I bought the house. Called police, they send someone, but officers can never find the property. Tried selling it. Buyers show up for walkthroughs, don't remember being here after they leave. I said people have been trapped, we found their things, where are they? Silence. Then I demanded, "Christine, where are the guests who came before us?" She whispered, "I don't know." They check in, stop answering messages, then new guests arrive and their things are still there, like they vanished. I asked, "How do we leave?" and she said, "I don't know, never figured it out, I'm sorry, so sorry." Line went dead. Trevor said, "We find a way out, just need to think." Ashley looked at the Polaroids again, saying David left for help on day 5, walked to the main road and never came back. So walking doesn't work, but what if he did find a way out and couldn't get back in to save his family? Mom was staring at the locked bedroom upstairs. We need to see what's in that room. Trevor kicked in the door to reveal a child's room, but wrong. Walls covered in drawings, hundreds of them, all by children, showing the same thing in each. House by ocean, stick figures outside trying to run, gray cloud around the house, and something in the fog, tall figure sketched in black crayon with no face. Laptop on the bed, open with screensaver running. Trevor moved the mouse and it was Jennifer Aldrich's laptop. Desktop showed dozens of document files titled with dates. 9/8/24 day 1 doc, 9/9/24 day 2 doc, 9/10/24 day 3 doc. I opened the last one dated 9/13/24, 6 days. David never came back from his walk. I know he's not coming back now. None of them do. Fog doesn't just hide things, something moves in it. Seen it 3 times, always at a distance, always watching the house. Kids saw it too, won't go near windows anymore. Found something in the basement, a door, wasn't there before, checked twice, appeared on day 4, think it's a way out, terrified of what might be on the other side. Basement door has a symbol, a spiral, don't go through unless you're sure, because whatever let us in wants something in return for letting us out. Taking the kids through tonight. Rather face what's behind that door than stay another day. If we don't make it, tell my mother it ended. We stood at the top of basement stairs. None of us wanted to go down but didn't have a choice. Stairs creaked. Basement, unfinished concrete floor, exposed beams, mildew smell. Far end. A black door with a carved spiral symbol in deep grooves, ancient looking and slightly open. Beyond it, darkness and the sound of waves, not above us from the ocean outside, but through the door. Trevor said, "We don't know where this goes," but Mom replied, "We know where staying goes." 6 days. That's how long they lasted. We're on day 1, not waiting for day 7. I reached for the doorknob, but before I touched it, we heard something from upstairs, a child laughing. We ran up to find the great room empty, but laughter continued from outside on the beach. Through the window, 2 children, boy and girl, playing in fog, the Aldrich children. Ashley breathed impossible. They went through the door, but there they were, building a sandcastle, laughing. Trevor opened the back door, stepped onto the porch shouting, "Hey, you okay?" They didn't respond, didn't look up. He started walking toward them, and I grabbed his arm saying, "Trevor, wait." But he pulled away saying they might know how to get out. He stepped off the porch into sand and sank, not into sand but into nothing. One moment there, next he dropped straight down like the ground opened beneath him. No scream, no sound, just gone. Children kept playing. I backed into the house pulling Mom and Ashley with me. "The beach isn't real," I said. "Children aren't real. None of this is." Ashley's voice broke, asking where Trevor went, and I didn't have an answer. Mom walked to the guest book, started flipping through. Every entry mentions trying to leave during the day, walking roads, driving, but nobody mentions the basement door. I said Jennifer did in her laptop, and Ashley understood. The door only appears after a certain number of days. It's a timer. Mom said quietly, or a test. The house sees how long we'll stay, whether we believe we can leave normally. When we finally give up, it offers the door. Ashley said, "So we go now, tonight, day 1, before it expects us to." Back to the basement where the door was open wider now with the spiral symbol glowing faintly. I went first, stepped through as darkness swallowed me instantly. No light, no sound, but ground beneath my feet, though I couldn't see it. Kept walking, counting steps, 10, 20, 50. Then light, not sunshine, but fluorescent. A hallway, hotel hallway with doors on both sides and numbers on each. Behind me, Ashley and Mom came through. Ashley whispered, "Where are we?" And I didn't know. Tried a door, room 237 locked. Next room 238 locked, all locked except one, room 213 with the door cracked open. Inside, exact replica of the Airbnb great room but dark, abandoned, dust everywhere. On the dining table were 4 place settings and each seat had a name tag. 3 had names: Jennifer Aldrich, David Aldrich, Sarah Aldrich. 4th was blank, waiting. Mom said, "Not staying to find out whose name goes there." Walked to the window, the one overlooking the beach, and opened it. Outside wasn't ocean but a parking lot. Normal paved parking lot with our cars and engines running. We climbed through, got in, drove. Didn't stop until Raleigh, 3 hours straight. Trevor wasn't in the car. Called police, filed missing person report. They searched the address in Rodden, but the property didn't exist. No record of a house at that location, empty lot, undeveloped. Christine MS number disconnected, her Airbnb profile vanished, listing was gone. 2 weeks later, I got an email from Airbnb. "Thank you for staying at Pelican's Rest. We'd love to hear about your experience. Please leave a review." I clicked the link and the listing was active again with new photos, same house and 5-star reviews from September 15th onward, the day after we left. People staying there right now. Tried reporting it, but the button didn't work. Tried messaging new guests, but messages wouldn't send. Only could leave a review, so I wrote, "Don't stay past dark. Check the basement. The door is not an exit, it's a choice. Choose wrong, you're in the hallway forever. Choose right." Someone you love stays behind. Review never posted. Trevor is still missing with no body, no clues. But sometimes late at night I get texts from his number, always the same. "The house let you leave. I'm still here. Room 213. My name is on the 4th plate now." Tried replying, but messages never deliver. Last night, new text. "Ashley's name is appearing on the place setting next to mine. You need to come back. The house collects families." Ashley swears she hasn't gotten strange texts, but this morning she told me she's been dreaming about a beach house with blue exterior, been Googling Airbnbs in Rodden, doesn't remember why. My mother's 60th was supposed to be about joy. Instead, I lost my husband to a house that doesn't exist, and I'm watching my sister slowly forget why she should never book a coastal Airbnb with 5 stars and a name like Pelican's Rest. If you see that listing, scroll past. Someone invites you to Rodden, say no. If you're ever in an Airbnb where previous guests left their things behind, check the basement before dark because the door will appear eventually and someone you love will stay behind. August 19th, 2024. My husband walked onto a beach in Cape May, New Jersey at 11:47 p.m. I watched him from our Airbnb deck, watched him cross the dune and walk to the waterline, watched for 3 minutes then looked away to answer a text. When I looked back, he was gone. Coast Guard searched 5 days and found his shoes at the waterline, nothing else. Ruled it accidental drowning. I know what really happened because I broke the rule too, 2 nights later, and I met what took him. The host warned us, but we didn't listen. My husband's name was Ben and we'd been married 19 years. August 2024 was our second honeymoon since kids were away at college for the first time. Ben found the listing. The captain's quarters in Cape May, Victorian cottage 3 blocks from beach. The host, Diane K., had stellar reviews, been hosting 6 years. We booked for a week. Arrived Saturday afternoon and Diane met us at the door with white hair, kind eyes, warm smile. House was perfect with antique furniture and ocean breeze everywhere. She walked us through then stopped at the back door. I have one rule. Walk to the beach anytime during the day, but after sunset stay away from the water. Don't even walk on the beach at night. I asked why and she smiled, but it didn't reach her eyes. Cape May has a higher nighttime drowning rate than any beach in New Jersey. Currents are tricky, drop-offs are sudden, people get disoriented in the dark. Made sense, sounded reasonable. I said we'll be careful and Diane looked at me for a long moment. I've hosted 6 years, 43 bookings, 3 guests drowned. All went to the beach after dark despite my warning. The rule isn't optional. If you go to the beach at night, I can't help you. She left, reminded us one more time, don't go to the beach after dark. That night we sat on the back deck and at 9:30 p.m. Ben looked at his watch. Sunset was 7:52, technically after dark now. I said Diane told us not to, but he replied, we're not swimming, just walking. Should have said no, should have reminded him about the 3 guests, but instead I said 10 minutes then we come back. Walked to beach access and the moment we stepped onto sand the temperature dropped instantly. 70 degrees on the street, felt like 50 on the beach. No breeze, air completely still. Moon was full, beach was empty. Sand felt wrong under my feet, too soft, pulling at my shoes. Ben, I want to go back. He said we just got here. Reached the waterline and the waves were strange, came in but didn't go back out. Each wave pushed further up sand but water didn't recede. 2 minutes and the waterline moved 10 feet closer. I said too fast and Ben saw fear on my face. Okay, let's head back. We turned and someone stood 50 feet away. A man standing perfectly still and facing us in old-fashioned clothing, heavy coat, boots, face in shadow. Ben called hello, no response. Figure took 1 step forward and I saw clearly he wasn't standing on the sand but in it, ankle deep, rising, pulling himself up from below. I whispered, run. We ran and didn't stop until back inside with door locked. Ben poured himself a drink with shaking hands. By morning in daylight it felt less real and Ben convinced himself it was moonlight tricks. Sunday was perfect at the beach during daylight with families everywhere and no sign of anything wrong. But at 11:15 p.m. Ben woke me saying he heard something. From outside, singing, faint and distant. Woman's voice singing something slow and sad. Ben went to the window saying there's someone out there. I said do, but he was already grabbing shoes saying someone might be hurt. Went out before I could stop him. I watched from the deck as he crossed the yard and walked toward beach access. Singing stopped. Everything went silent. I called Ben, no answer. Waited, then saw him standing at the dune edge looking down. Ben. He raised one hand in a stay there gesture, then walked down the dune onto sand and disappeared. 1 second there, next gone. I ran to the beach. Dune was empty, beach was empty. Ran to waterline and shined light on sand. His footprints were there leading from dune to water. Stopped 10 feet from waves, just ended. Called 911. Police came, Coast Guard, search and rescue. Searched all night and found his shoes at 3:47 a.m. but no body, no struggle. Coast Guard said current is deceptive but Ben hadn't gone in the water. Shoes were dry. They searched 5 days then stopped, listed him drowned, presumed dead. Wednesday Diane came saying, I'm so sorry, I warned you. She continued quietly, the others all went at night, All heard something, singing, voices, someone calling for help. I asked, what is it? And Diane said, I don't know. My grandfather owned this house, said it's been happening since the 1800s. Fishermen going missing at night, always from this stretch. I asked why keep hosting, and she said, because it only happens if you go to beach after dark. Follow the rule, you're safe. House is fine, town is fine, just the beach at night. She stood to leave, saying, don't go to the beach at night. Whatever you do, don't go back. I nodded, but was already planning to break the rule again. Spent 2 days in archives finding records going back to 1823. Drownings, disappearances, missing fishermen, tourists, locals. Same stretch, all at night. 97 documented cases over 200 years, none of the bodies ever found. Found a journal entry from 1847, lighthouse keeper. 3 fishing vessels went down in calm water last night. No storm, no wind. Sea simply opened and swallowed them. Saw it from the lighthouse. Shape beneath water, massive, darker than ocean around it. Survivors refuse to speak. One keeps drawing same image, a spiral. Same symbol I'd seen carved into driftwood the morning after Ben disappeared. Friday night, 1 week since Ben vanished. Had a choice, go home or go back to beach at night and find out what really happened. I chose beach. Brought flashlight, knife, phone, wore bright clothing, told a friend to call police if I didn't check in by 1 a.m. Went to beach at 11:47 p.m. Temperature drop happened immediately. Beach empty. Walked to waterline, same spot where Ben's footprints ended. I'm here. If you're listening, if something took my husband, I'm here. Show yourself. Silence, then singing. Same voice coming from water beneath the water. I stepped closer and waves stopped moving. Entire ocean went still like glass. And I saw her, woman standing in water waist deep with long waterlogged dress and hair floating like seaweed. Eyes open but black eyes, just black. She sang words I didn't recognize but understood. Come down, come with us. Where's my husband? She stopped singing, smiled, raised one hand pointing down. Below. Sand beneath my feet shifted. Looked down and it wasn't sand anymore but water, dark swirling water. I was sinking rapidly. Tried pulling my legs out but they wouldn't move, held like cement. Waist deep now. Woman smiled wider. Help, no one came. Water pulled me under and I couldn't breathe. Underwater but not ocean, somewhere else. Dark, cold, pressure, then light. A cavern with walls lined with bodies, dozens standing with eyes open, not floating, not decaying. Preserved, waiting. I recognized one, Ben, standing with eyes open, staring at nothing. Swam to him, grabbed his arm. He didn't react. Ben, it's me, we're leaving. His eyes moved slowly toward me, opened his mouth and water poured out something darker. Then he spoke, voice wasn't his but layered. You came, now you stay. I said no, but he continued, you broke the rule, came at night. Ocean takes what comes at night. Pulled and his arm came away in my hand, just disconnected like he was made of sand. His body collapsed, dissolved, became dark water. All around, other bodies began collapsing. Cavern was filling, rising, swam up but there was no surface, just more darkness. I was drowning. Lungs burned, vision blurred, then a hand grabbed my wrist, pulling. I broke surface, gasped, collapsed on sand. Real sand, back on beach. Someone crouching next to me, Diane. I told you not to come back. She helped me up, walked me to house. I asked what is that thing and Diane sighed. Don't know what she is. My grandfather called her the collector. Takes people at night, keeps them waiting. I asked for what and she said enough. When she has enough she'll rise and take the whole town. I asked how many and Diane said counted 97 disappearances. You saw how many were in that cavern, she's close. I said we have to warn people but she replied town council won't. Tourism would collapse, people don't believe ghost stories. Diane looked at me. He's gone. What you saw, not your husband anymore. Ocean keeps bodies as anchors. When she rises, they'll rise with her. I left Cape May the next morning. Can't stop thinking about what Diane said. 97, she needs a certain number then she rises. 4 months since Ben disappeared and I check news every day looking for drowning reports. Last week Diane called saying there's been another one, a guest who went despite her warning. That makes 98. I asked how many does she need and Diane said my grandfather's journal wrote, when the 100 stand, the collector will walk. 2 more. She needs 2 more. Yesterday, Diane called saying someone booked for next weekend, a family with parents and 2 teenagers. Diane updated her listing, added the rule in bold, sent message explaining why. They responded, "LOL, thanks for the spooky story. We'll be careful." They think it's a joke and they're going to the beach at night. When they do, the collector will have her 100. If you're planning a trip to Cape May, New Jersey, listen. Don't book a house near beach. Don't go to beach at night. And if you hear singing from water after dark, turn around and run, because the collector is waiting and she's almost ready. Ben is still down there, and when she rises, he'll rise too, not as himself but as part of her. I've tried going back, but Diane stops me saying if I go back I won't come out again, and someone needs to survive to tell the story. So I'm telling you, Cape May, the beach after dark, do.